donkey may have fucked a dragon. Shrek. I don't know why I said Shrek. I don't know any of the dragons in media, I'm going to be honest. I was going to make a dragon joke because today we're taking a look at the second Hobbit movie, The Decimation of Smaug, which is one which I do quite like. And it is my third favorite out of the Hobbit franchise, I will be honest. I think this one is the worst one out of the three, just based on the trilogy as a whole. But I still quite like this one, and I still think this one is really fucking good. Like, it may be the worst out of the three, but that doesn't mean that it's bad by any fucking stretch of the imagination. So, with this second one of the trilogy, the Desolation, the destruction of Smaug, whatever you want to call it, don't have a fucking clue. So without any further delay, let's take a look at what Google has to say about this movie. So, Decimation of Smaug came out 2013, 1 year after the first Hobbit movie. So they are pumping these bad boys out pretty fucking quickly, not gonna lie. They are absolutely working. And it is a fantasy adventure movie, which is 2 hours and 41 minutes. It is a 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb, a 74% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 4.7 out of 5 on Amazon. You can watch this on Now TV, Google Play, Amazon Prime, and Sky Store. Bilbo Baggins, a hobbit, and his companions face great dangers on their journey to Lake Town. Soon, they reach the lonely mountain where Bilbo comes face to face with a fearsome dragon Smaug. So, how this story goes is they meet the elves, which is pretty cool, and they get chased down by orcs. They flow down the river in barrels. Gandalf actually dips to go find his buddy, who's like a nature wizard, and the rest of them continue their journey through the lands. Bilbo actually finds a pretty fucking badass sword as well. The dwarfs find out that he has the ring, which they're not too happy about. They want him to toss it, but he doesn't. And they end up getting their way to Lake Town, which is like their destination. Like, we also have Legolas being here, being badass as fuck. And they get to Lake Town. They go to the mountain where Smaug is being and storing the gold. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. Like, we see Smaug, and that's the end of the movie, because we're left on, like, the little bit of a teaser of him. No, the teaser was the first one. They go into the mountain, and they actually see Smaug, but they manage to escape with their lives with this one. I'm getting the endings confused, because I watched the first one, then I watched the second one. I watched them, like, back-to-back with, like, a video in between. I made like a video on the first movie before I started the second one, but I literally started the second one straight after I finished that video, so I'm getting the endings confused. There is a lot of Hobbit content, I'm gonna be honest. I'm like 6 hours deep into this franchise, okay, so you gotta cut me a little bit of slack here. But the CGI on Smaug is a little off, not gonna lie, but I don't think it was too bad. It still looked really cool, and it was still a pretty good product at the time, and I have seen how they actually made Smaug, which is pretty funny, because it's just Benedict Cumberbatch crawling around on the ground, which I think is fucking hysterical. Like, if you see the behind the scenes of this movie, it's fucking brilliant. Legolas is one of my favorite characters from Lord of the Rings, so him actually being here is fucking great. Again, keeping up the fan service, because in the first one we did actually have Gollum make an appearance, so the fan service, keeping the characters involved is really cool. And my favorite scene from this movie is the barrel scene. I just love it when they're floating down the ocean, when they're floating down the river in the barrels. I just think it's funny. It's amusing, and it's great. It's very creative as well. It's a very creative scene. We haven't really seen much like it done since this movie back in like 2013, which is like a whole 10 years now. And again, I just think it's really fun. It's just fun and silly. And again, it continues to have that nice balance of very serious moments, very like dark, character driven, like emotion, and then also its comedic moments. And comedic timing. It's not like a comedic movie, but it can have some good light-hearted fun and some silly adventure shenanigans go alongside the serious, quite serious topics of the mountain and some character drama and why some characters have these like more like harsh outlooks on life and more brash, quite short-tempered emotions. And it is pretty cool. Obviously, we have Bilbo using the ring to its full advantage, sneaking around the gold pile and waking up Smaug, which is where the movie actually ends. So it is, again, a pretty good cliffhanger, but I don't think the cliffhanger is as good as the first one. Because, again, it does leave much more to be wanted compared to the first one, where the first one wrapped up the first chapter quite nicely. This one kind of depends on the third chapter to have this movie have a satisfying conclusion, and like this one doesn't really wrap up all of its story beats too nicely. Like it leaves quite a lot open for the next one, so it doesn't feel as satisfying as an ending compared to the first one, but the pacing was still quite good with this one. I do think they tried to do a little much with Gandalf going off and doing his own thing. Again, he did that in The Lord of the Rings as well. He went off and did his own fucking thing, and I'm not a huge fan of like the Gandalf side plots in these movies. Like, bro, Gandalf, the fuck are you doing? Like, chill, dog. Fucking chill. It's not that hard. Just fucking rein it back a bit, okay? Rein it fucking back. And that's all I really have to say about this one. There isn't too much that I wrote down in my notes for this movie. It's just kind of the like worst one. Like, I know Legolas is in it, but I can't carry the whole review because Legolas is here. Like, I know he's my favorite character, and it was really cool to see him, like, back in action, using his bow, fucking defending against orcs whilst the dwarfs are floating down the river. Again, a very good mix of, like, serious and comedic. Very good adventure, silly adventure shenanigans, like I said. But he was only in it for a little bit, and he didn't join the journey, obviously. The orcs still look really good. It's the same orc that's hunting them down, so that continued drama comes back, and I don't know, the characters just seem a little bit more aggressive and at each other's throats, and they don't feel as much of a team in this one, and it is just slightly boring, to be fair, compared to the other one and the last one. It does have to set up a lot more, and it does feel like they have to get a little bit more done in this one to make the third one be able to be as satisfying as the third one is. So I can't really take away too much credit from this one, because like the third one relies on this one, and this one relies on the third one. So it's kind of like a double package. Like, the third one relies on this one to set up everything that it needs to be as good as that it is, to make sure that they have all the communication that they need with like the other armies, so then they can sort of end on a pretty good high. Whereas with this one, it sets up everything for the third one and doesn't really bring any of its own points to a conclusion, because they need to be concluded in the third one. So it kind of is just a setup one, and that's not really a bad thing, but it just leaves a lot to be desired for this movie. And the action was cool. I did like the action. The action was really well done, and again, like I said, was a nice mix of creative and silly. And I'm running out of stuff to say about this one. I'm gonna be honest. Like, this one is the worst one of the three. So you can't really like say a lot about it. Like, I think I covered everything that I really wanted to. It was a long movie, so I did forget to write shit down in my notes because I was like locked in for this movie, and I liked it. I was locked in. I thought it was cool. Lake Town is also a really cool setting. It did remind me of the sticks from Ninjago, and I know we get to see a lot more of like Lake Town in the next one, and it did give some of the other like dwarfs a little bit more time to shine. Like, it didn't just focus on the same few that it focused on in the first one. We got to see a little bit more of the others. They got to develop a little bit more of their own personalities, and we got to see a little bit more about them. And I don't know, I just feel like there was a nice balance this time round of which dwarfs get to shine compared to the first movie, where there was definitely the favorites and definitely the ones which they had to talk about more and definitely took the limelight from the others. So this one having a little bit more of a nicer balance between the dwarfs was really nice. Again, it is a really big cast of characters that they all gotta like balance and get through for this movie, which is fair enough, because like there is a fucking lot of them. Do I feel like some of them could have like not been here and the movie would have been the same? Absolutely. I don't even remember all their names. That's how like forgetful some of them are. Like, there's the main one, the leader. There's the one with the like X stuck in its head. There's the fat one. There's the smart one. There's the deaf one. It's like fucking naming the seven dwarfs. There's one with the cool hat. I'm not sure if I already mentioned him or not. There's the one which I thought was the one with the cool hat, but isn't. He looks very similar. And I feel like there's at least 2 to like 3 more, but I cannot be sure. I don't know if there's 7 or 10. I definitely feel like I'm forgetting someone, if not multiple. So that's what I mean. There's definitely so much of forgetful, and out of the ones that I named, like 3 of them are just used for comedic timing, and that's it. That is it. So this one has to be scored lower than the last one. This one is like a solid 7 out of 10. I definitely gave the other one like a higher one. I gave the last one 8 out of 10, so I think that's pretty fair.